Highbridge Hotel. The YMCA has been involved in negotiations on the site for a considerable period of time, and was hoping by now to at least see some sort of building emerging from the, I'm not going to say ruins, but essentially the hotel that's left there currently. Unfortunately, due to a couple of factors which I'll be coming to in a moment, we haven't been able to get as far as we needed to at this point, or as we wanted to at this point. However, we are now in a position to provide an update, which hopefully will meet the people's satisfaction, but also any concerns that people have, and also possibly put to rest some of the unfortunate comments which are circulating on certain local social media and forum sites. The YMCA has been working very, very hard to make sure that the Highbridge Hotel project gets off on the right foot. It would have been very easy to throw ourselves in headlong with the contractor and incur all sorts of graft, including that of English Heritage, Central District Council, planners, and other bodies. What we wanted to make sure was, as this is a legacy project for Highbridge, Highbridge, and it's a gateway to the town, that the project kicks itself off on the right foot and is able to complete in the right way possible. The delays that we've had have been really unfortunate, and mostly down to the work that we've had to do on the site itself, which has involved cherry pickers, which has involved drones flying over there to take pictures inside the building itself. As the building itself, by our contractors that we appointed at the start, at the end of the tendering process, was deemed unsafe for people to access. Now, having been around now to go to the building, and I'm sure many other people will have, who have seen the scaffolding that's up there and the current condition of the building. The main issue that we had was, it was almost a bit of a chicken and egg situation, where if we took the scaffolding down, was the building going to fall down that was left there, and which way was it going to fall? Would it fall to the road, would it fall back onto various Nightstone sites, or would it fall in on itself? Or would it not fall at all? So the initial work that we had done was to identify whether it was actually structurally sound as a building itself. Unfortunately, what came back from that was a completely inconclusive report in which no structural surveyor was able to be able to say to us it was safe to be able to take the scaffolding down. Equally, at that point, we asked the scaffolding firm who was responsible for placing the scaffolding up in the first instance as to whether the scaffolding was certificated. It wasn't certificated in any way, it was placed up there and essentially had been left there for a number of years and has sat there holding the building up, or is the building holding the scaffolding up. So this has left us some time ago, the contractor, in a position where they had a solution for it, which wasn't exactly a very palatable solution, which involved a big grab bucket and going in there and saying, right, okay, the only way to do this is to pull the whole thing down. From that point, we said, well, hang on, no, the YMCA do not wish to engage in this. This is a grade 2 listed building. There are people within the community, ourselves included, and I remind myself of the building on a daily basis as I drive to work, because I drive past it, to keep it in my mind, that we need to look at making sure we preserve all of the elements of that building, which people of Highbridge and the people who have driven past it for many, many years hold so dear. It might not look beautiful at the moment, but one day it is going to be a real asset to the community. Now, the solution involves some really, really intensive work, and it has been intensive. It's not been us sitting back in an office somewhere and watching other people do things, or just scraping our beards around tables. It's actually involved some significant work. The Central District Council, who have been incredibly supportive. The new Heritage Officer, the Conservation Officer appointed by them, Charlotte, has been fantastic. Involved work with English Heritage, involved work with our contractors. We are now in a position where we secured the site earlier this year with the hoardings that have gone up around it. We're now in a position to be able to, in the next 2 months, access the site, and with agreement from Central District Council, the Planning Department, and also the Heritage Officer, with agreement from English Heritage, to be able to hand-pick the facade of the building down using manual labour, essentially, to bring it down to ground level in order to essentially refurbish that front element. So the works that we're going to be doing have created a delay. but actually in the long term, what we're going to get is the building and the facade that I think we all, I think, well, I hope people in the room, and I remember, the facade of the building was so impressive as a gateway to the town, using the originally used materials. Now, that process, we're anticipating, as I said, starting in 2 months' time, but will also take time. There are budget implications, which the YMCA and Sentinel and various other different parties are talking about at the moment. They're not showstoppers, they're not going to stop what's going to go on, because we've come this far and we genuinely believe, from the work that we've done in Highbridge already, the conversations we've had in the hairdressers, in the Chinese, in the fish and chip shop, in the restaurant, in the cafe, in the other shops, in the dentist I was having the other day, was actually people are really proud of Highbridge. People are really proud of that location, and we want to be part of that, and we want to enhance everything that's offered there. So, essentially, from now on, we're in a process where several planners have agreed with what we want to do, the Heritage Officer has, English Heritage has, the YMCA in place we wish to proceed, and the contractors have come through with a proposal which satisfies all parties. So in the next 2 months, we're going to be working with the timescales, we're going to be enabling activities on site. I know I've been in this room and I've said that before, but we now genuinely have removed all of the barriers which will allow us to reinstate the property, which will then become a great asset to Highbridge. The delay of, in fairness, it's been around about 8 months. I think if we were to look at that delay in terms of a legacy project over the next 25 years, it almost becomes inconsequential to the whole thing. It's been unfortunate at this time, but it has, hopefully in the longer term, prevented any further delays, and also to allow us to get the building to serve the town so well. Thank you very much for your time. I'm sure there's questions or
any members got any questions? You talked about having an 8-month delay in the programme. When now are you hoping to finish?
we would anticipate now being finished by March 2017.
March 2017.
Martin, you talked about the handpicking the building. As I understand that, the building's going to come down, and then you're going to use the materials in their original state to put the building back up. I'm sure hearing that will allay a lot of local people's concerns, because certainly in my short time here, the number of local people who said was the jury recognises that the Highbridge Hotel, to some, is a bit of an eyesore, to others, it is a legacy of Highbridge's past. Will there be somewhere, will there be something, excuse the pun, written in stone to say that that is going to be the case? Because respectfully, going back to my working class roots in the Black Country, I heard a similar debate with the Black Country History Museum, to find that a few years later, the Black Country Living History Museum wasn't what it was intended. So will there be clear, concise details in some, I assume, an amendment to the planning agreement to say that the building is going to be handpicked and then using the original materials, the original building is going to be put back up?
List building consent that we'll have to gain to be able to carry out the works will state that, and already does state that. There's already a watching brief that will be on site by English Heritage throughout as well.
Right.
I do feel in pain with the Black Country Museum, because I'm a bit away from the
Thank you, Chairman. I was really going to reiterate what Councillor Park says, because we've had that before with St Christopher's School site. They were supposed to retain the door frame, all that, and apparently it disappeared, or it got broken, and the same with Custom House and
Highbridge Station.
Highbridge, yeah, lots of things like this. We have had that before, so I cannot insist strongly enough that we keep
the watching brief from English Heritage is really key to us to make sure that, from our point of view as the YMCA, we're not experts in that field as such. So by using the watching brief from English Heritage, we're keeping an eye on our contractors, and also from the point of view of Central District Council and their Conservation Heritage Officer. The whole package comes together. It makes us feel an awful lot more comfortable than someone saying, well, we'll take it down brick by brick and make sure we need to make sure that it's absolutely right.
Councillor?
Just one thing, where are you
intend to store it? When you take it down, you've got to put it somewhere, and I believe that the site that's clear where the old sheep pens is, Derek Reed still owns that. Is there any agreement to store it there? Because you can't just take it down, you've only got the spot where the hotel is, basically.
We have the spot where the hotel is, the spot where the sports hall is planning consent for. So we're working currently with Derek Reed, and there's an informal agreement at the moment which assumes we're ready to start on site that the sheep pens of that sheep site will be able to use for the site office, and then hopefully as we're working back into the site, the development that will happen there. So we're just trying to work and time those things together. But the site now is really, really important for us because obviously the area behind has been well defined and completely developed.
But the only thing is, with this old stuff like it is there going to be 24-hour security there when you're not there at night? Because it is valuable stuff, some of that stuff that's there.
It's predominantly brick-based. I do hear exactly what you're saying, but it is predominantly brick-based, and the process that will happen within the site itself. The 24-hour security, one of the reasons why it's twofold 24-hour security, the barriers that we put up around the site is to prevent access and someone unfortunately having an accident, having got that access, but also being able to prevent anybody from being able to take things from the site, which would be valuable.